You are listening to Revealing Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into getting over your fear of taking risk in real estate and making money while you sleep. I'm Nico Pedizano, your host and real estate guru with over 20 years of experience. It's time to get real.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Revealing Real Estate Podcast. I am your co-host, Jessica Ruffolo, and I'm accompanied by your favorite host, Nico Pedizano. And today we are going to be talking about the importance of systems and routines for real estate agents. So I think this is going to be a great episode for real estate agents who are just starting out or kind of got lost a little bit and need to kind of implement systems and routines back into their daily life.
100%. And Jess, thank you for that wonderful introduction. And yes, this show here is going to help a lot of real estate agents understand what it's going to take to become successful within our industry. As difficult it is, there's a lot of moving components, and there's a lot of things that people are going to need to know when they're starting out, especially within this industry. There's a lot of real estate agents out there, really good real estate agents, and the competition is getting more fierce. With the lack of inventory that's currently on the market, you got to really make sure you step up your game right now because it's not getting any easier. We're hoping that, eventually inventory will start to rise so that it can support the amount of realtors that are out there in the industry. And we're hoping that there's enough supply to rise to help out what the demand is in buyers looking to buy right now.
Yeah.
But if you don't have systems in your business, it's going to be difficult for you to start scaling and growing every single year. And that's the biggest obstacle most new agents will face today is not understanding how to when you're starting in this career or in this sector of real estate, treat it as a business. Don't just treat it as a job, right? And if you can treat this as a business and implement systems within in your business, I think you'll be starting out on the right foot.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're so important. And I know you preach about them all the time. Every time you do a video or you talk, systems. I hear you when you speak to your real estate agents. So I want you to, for the audience, define what a system is or what a good system and routine looks like for a real estate agent.
Yeah. And every business has systems. And in real estate, you need the proper system to start running is how is everything run on the back end? Right. So when you are out there and you're trying to even time block, so somebody who's just coming in the business itself and you want to start, where does a real estate agent start? And the first thing is making sure that you have a really good CRM. So a CRM is a database where you're going to actually be able to store people inside so that you can know every single thing about that person, right? That person that you've talked to, that could be a prospect that's either one day going to transact in real estate, whether looking to buy or sell or invest into real estate in one shape or form or another. So if you don't have a system in place where you're going to store people, so a CRM is already one system.
Right.
There's different systems that we're going to be talking about. But the first step for somebody who's joining the business is making sure that you got a really good database and setting up that CRM. So when you meet somebody, you should be looking at making sure that you get all their contact information, which is their address, their phone number, their email, even their birthday, whatever that situation may be. You want to try to abstract that. Right. And those are some of the important parts of building a system. So step one is making sure that you have a wonderful CRM system. What I would recommend for somebody who's starting within the business is go through that list of people that that would work with you. Right. And we've talked about that on past shows.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, well, I have that. I built that CRM system. What's the next system I need to implement within my business? And that is a prospecting plan. If you can set up a plan or a goal and say, well, what direction do I want to get into when it comes to real estate? Do I want to start getting into commercial? Do I want to start getting into land development and purchasing land for developers or finding product for developers? Do I want to get into resale? Do I want to be a condo specialist? Right? So there's different sectors that you can branch off to. For me, I've chosen my specialty field in regards to resale homes. That's what I specialize in. Now, have I dabbled and done transactions into selling buildings and selling land, land development? And I've learned so much through the process of how to actually get raw land and bring it to servicing and draft plan approvals and getting planners involved and cost sharing obligations and so much.
Right.
So there's a lot of moving components there.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that, get with a company that specializes in the field that you want to specialize in. So I specialize in resale,
Right.
residential homes. My objective, which I always talk about many times even with my agent, is there's going to be many opportunities that you're going to run across, right? And there's many ways that you can go out there and network and find people that want to either transact in real estate one shape or another. And it's about making sure that you have conversations.
Right.
Because if the more conversations you have with people, the more appointments that you're going to be able to set. The more appointments that you're able to set, the more contracts you're going to sign. The more contracts you sign means more money for you.
Right.
That means commissions, right? At the end of it all. So that's just kind of the simple formula towards working and becoming successful within this business. But what are the things now you're working on, right? And I'd like to describe it, for myself is there's really 6 ways. If I wanted to be a listing resale machine, there's really 6 ways for me to go out there and try to find some business, right?
Okay.
Door knocking is one of them. You can cold call, but how do we cold call, right? Are we going to cold call on, maybe cold call on something that just sold or just listed within the area? I know a lot of agents today don't do it, but I remember when I first started on the business, I was plugging away on the phones, and cold calling was my specialty. Yeah. But maybe for some people, they're like, or maybe now the way technology's kind of grown, you don't have to cold call as much. And people really don't pick up the phones today because everybody's on their cell phone and nobody's picking and everybody's texting and stuff like that. So there's online leads that you can start generating and buying and purchasing from there. But then there's for sale by owners, right? Somebody who's looking to sell their house privately, tactically going after them, and seeing if there's a value that they'll be able to use, because ideally, statistically wise, a real estate agent is going to be able to generate and sell a house about 5 to 10% more than somebody who can privately. We specialize in negotiation. We should have very good, strong marketing campaigns, much better than anybody out there, who's trying to sell their house without a real estate agent. Right. And those are one opportunities. How about center of influence, right? Your marketing campaigns, when you're going to advertise to social media, how can you start now figuring out alternative ways to have conversations with people on social media?
Yeah, and just stand out in general when you're doing those things too.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And you're on the team. You're really involved in the marketing side of things.
Yes.
And I think you really have a really good understanding of marketing and advertising. And I'm not talking about that's another form. But again, what somebody should be writing down is, okay, what's my system to my prospecting plan?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, once you've got your prospecting plan and business is going to start flowing in, it's like, okay, now I went prospecting. So my center of influence, I'm going to start adding that as one of my charts to go and generate business. What are my goals that I got to set for that week, right? Or for that month? How many conversations do I need? How many conversations do I want to have to set, 5 listing appointments within that month, or 4 buyer appointments for that particular month, or that week, however you want to produce numbers, right? And start figuring out ways to have conversations. So you say, okay, well, on Wednesday, I'm going to make sure that that's going to be my center of influence prospecting session. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to go have conversations. I'm going to go to my bank and see if I can talk to a few bank tellers, right?
Anyone.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go to my barber, see who's hanging out in the barber shop. Maybe I'm going to go to a local bakery that I know is pretty busy and see if I can start having conversations with people.
Right.
So maybe I'm going to call up somebody that I know that has a very good high net worth, that I can go and talk to somebody regarding that, or maybe take them out for lunch and face-to-face conversations.
Right.
That's my weekly schedule for Wednesday. And this is what I used to do.
Yeah.
Right. Door knocking. I used to figure out a plan. And if I just sold a house on the street, every single house was going to get door knocked. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I would go out there, I door knock them. I let them know about, hey, I just sold, ABC property just down the street for you. We have more buyers that are looking in the area. We just sold in a multiple offer scenario. We had 13 offers that came in. Unfortunately, 12 of them lost because we only could sell it to one person. And I want to know if you're interested in selling your house, right? So that was part of it. Open houses were such a huge success of mine. So at the end of the day, I built prospecting systems as well within my business, right? So I had a database system. So anytime I was prospecting, that client went into my CRM system.
Enjoying this episode? Subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment down below to let us know what you want to learn next. Make sure you're following our Instagram and TikTok to stay up to date on our new episodes every Friday. And I love the way that you combine your systems with, okay, on Wednesdays I'm prospecting, on Thursdays I'm door knocking, and I think that's kind of why I wanted to lead this episode with not only systems but daily routines as well, because just from listening to it, it sounds like they go hand in hand. You are your own boss and your own, business owner at the end of the day, even as a real estate agent, right? So you need to, no one's going to tell you, hey, wake up and come to work. You're going to have to make yourself go to work. So as far as having systems in place, having that good daily routine as well is going to make implementing systems so much more easier for you, if I'm not mistaken.
100%.
Yeah.
What's going to make your business a lot easier to run. Now you're running and you're going to operate as a business. Right. Marketing and advertising. I'm not talking about marketing because those are components of, making sure that you build upon your brand. And today with the power of social media, you can expand that a lot quicker than I was able to, because when I started on the business, social media wasn't around.
Yeah.
Right. So now it is such a powerful tool that there's not, like real estate agents. That's why you see so many real estate agents trying to implement and use that source of advertising.
Yeah.
But the main components or the main basics of the business, I believe, still haven't changed, right? It's the face-to-face conversations that somebody's going to want to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? People are going to want to deal with me because two main factors. They like me as a person, and they trust me as a person. And those are what you're going to have to kind of distinguish with somebody that you first meet is how can I make that person believe in me, that if they're going to, allow me to help them transact in one of the most valuable possessions that they're ever going to own, why would they trust me? Yeah. So I need to make them and reassure them of my values of, listen, I'm going to be able, through my experience, guide you to make sure I get you those opportunities. And how do I have those conversations? Well, that's when scripting comes inside, right? And scripting is another main component to, if you don't know or understand how to speak the language, and believe me or not, asking the right questions is going to be very critical. And what I learned early on is I didn't ask enough questions. And in my listing presentations, in my buyer presentations, when somebody called me for more information on a property. So I made sure now I implemented a certain system that for screening that everybody had to go through a protocol. Before I got into my car and showed somebody a home, I made sure that I asked them the right questions that I'm going to abstract from them so that when I go there and show them the properties, and it happens so much in our industry that a lot of times, even now on the MLS, we're seeing that if the listing agent shows the property, they are going to now reduce the commissions down from 2.5% to 1% because buyers, what they do is not to bother their real estate agent that they're working with, their buyer agent that they're working with, call the listing agent directly, and then we go and show the property, and next thing you know, when they want to put an offer in, I got an agent.
Wow.
Well, it's my fault if I didn't ask the question.
Yeah.
Right? If I just got in the car, booked the appointment, showed them the house, and I didn't ask them the question if they got a real estate agent, that's the number one question most people should be asking today.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? If somebody's calling information on that property, are you working with a real estate agent? Quick question.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Right? So now that's why a lot of real estate agents we promote to make sure that you do get buyer representation agreements signed for those specific properties. If that client wants to work with you, he works with you. Yeah. If he doesn't, at least you're protected on that one specific property on it. But again, having scripting and making sure that you understand what to say and how to say it to somebody is very important. Right? And building and training on that. So now we have systems on training and mentorship programs that we on our team, as you can see, are involved in making sure that our buyer objections, seller objections, inbound calls, outbound calls, it's important and imperative. You may have, I don't mind, my agents sometimes are going to make it their own, and that's fine. I don't want them to sound robotic, but at least I want them to understand that, hey, why aren't you at least asking these main 5-6 questions before you give them information on that property?
No, absolutely. And you do so much mentorship, and I hear you when you talk, and you want to make sure that, not only yourself have those systems and routines, but your team does as well. So when you do those mentorship, meetings, What are some specific, I want to say not softwares, but like how do you tell your team members to stay organized? Are there specific like apps you tell them to use? Are there specific, things you tell them to use in order to organize their systems?
There's so many different CRMs out there that you can implement within your business, right? But and there's many online, Follow Up Boss, Top Producer. There's many out there. I advise that people should get that CRM system. Start a prospecting campaign. Scheduling your and time blocking is going to be very important for agents, especially when they first start out.
Right, like Google Calendar or something.
Wasting.
Yeah.
Listen, right now what I've learned is I try to avoid time wasters. My time is very valuable, in my opinion, in my mind, and I've set a very high standard to what my time is worth.
Of course.
And most real estate agents, when they start out in the business, they don't do that. And I think agents that have been in this business for 20 years really don't put a value and appreciate the value of what they are or who they are as a person.
Their time.
Their time.
Yeah.
I don't like time. You know me.
You're just go. And
I'm a go.
Yeah,
right?
as you should.
And then, sometimes I like to take my time.
Yeah.
I'm a big golfer. Like that allows me that freedom to move away. But when I'm in the office, it's about production.
Yeah.
Right? It's about making sure that we have productivity that is going to allow our team to become successful, because the more our team becomes successful, the more our staff becomes more successful, the more my realtors become more successful. And that's what it's about. For me, going for lunch, unless it's a client face-to-face meeting, to be honest, lunch to me becomes a time waster.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I go out to lunch with somebody, it's going to take me a good hour, sometimes an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Based on how your day's going. And then from how much time that I lose either within my prospecting or replying to an email or making sure that I'm booking my appointments for the evening.
Yeah.
Right. Or dealing with marketing or running a podcast. It's a true funny story. But a lot of times if I go to a meeting just to catch up on my day, I'll fake going to the bathroom.
Just to go catch up on stuff.
Just to go catch up, look at my emails. Okay, what do I got to do? Right, because then I'll follow. How busy my schedule is. I'm gonna fall back too far behind.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, right, as a father, to two beautiful kids, and as a husband, when I go home, I want to have a clear mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you have your systems in your morning, the systems within your life that you should be having, right? And of course, I'm learning and I'm growing as well and evolving, within my time frame now at my age. Yeah. But making sure that you're keeping your health in order and you're at the gym, making sure that you're focused and spending time with your family. Anybody within their schedule, automatically, when you look at a 7-day work week and you're a real estate agent, people expect us to be work around the clock, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Right, 24 hours a day. But you need a day off.
Yeah.
Right. So first thing I tell my agents to do all the time is, what's your day off? Book your day off and book your vacation time.
Wow.
And I'll tell you this much: if you're not booking, a vacation, at least a little small getaway just to rejuvenate and regroup, quarterly, you'll get into burnout mode and burnout stage, and it's important. You need that within your life.
No, absolutely. And I think it's important to even time block. Okay, I'm going to the gym here and I'll make calls at this time, and I gotta walk my dog at this time and stuff like that. Things that are so small, you should be implementing them into your routine, because that's how you're going to start getting disciplined. Again, as I mentioned, as your own business owner, no one's going to tell you, hey, go into the office at this time. You have to get yourself up as a real estate agent and be like, okay, this is what I have to do today. Well, again, I'm just saying from what I see. I'm not a real estate agent, but I see,
But you're involved in it, right?
Yeah.
In marketing, being our marketing director on the team, you have systems.
Absolutely.
Right? That you've built in.
Absolutely.
Right? How do you know when to post, what to post,
Yeah, I got my times.
I got
my times. I was like, where's this post? I'm like, 2:00. I'm like, don't worry, it's going up.
Yeah. You know me, I got my OCDs. Hey, Jess, when's this going to... How did I know you were going to ask me that one day?
No, but it's true. You do need systems in everything that
right?
you do, just in life in general.
Yes. And I know when I see that, okay, Jess has her systems implemented, I don't have to worry as much knowing that we're going to have our content that we have scheduled to get posted. And sometimes we're going to brainstorm on when we should post and why we're posting it. Maybe there's a new relevant topic that's out there within the industry that
every day
we should get out there now. So we're going to, now we move something over just to fill that one in.
Yeah.
Right. But at least we have a system in place to say, okay, let's just now shift that and move it over. So in every sector, right, and every division within our company, we make sure that there's systems implemented. When an agent brings in a listing, or I bring in a listing to the team, we have a system in place.
Yeah, right away.
How fast does that get going?
Yeah.
Right? Our team coordinator at front desk knows exactly what they got to do.
Yeah.
Because once marketing gets to marketing, we don't allow front desk to deal with marketing. Yeah. Marketing goes to our marketing director.
Yeah, but we work off each other, I can't post unless something is up on the MLS. And so that's a system in itself, making sure that you're communicating and, okay, this is going up at a certain time. And okay, then it's my turn to post. And having that system just in your marketing, in your business, I can only imagine how much you want to implement it into your team members, because that's really what's going to get your business moving, and your main priority is the people that come to you for help, right?
Well, and that's what we offer on the team, right? And that's why being involved within the team is very critical, especially somebody who's starting out early on within their business. We provide those systems for you already that you don't have to go really build. They're there, right? Just start building. We're here to help complement your business. And we'll offer those opportunities for agents that when they join on the team, their job is to get in front of clients. Yeah. Their job is to have conversations. That's what their value is. That's my most valuable. Well, and number two, my most valuable thing is a listing presentation. Yeah. I'm very good at my listing presentation.
I hear.
As you hear. But again, that's not. But at the end of the day, my listing presentation is built within systems. So that is really the key critical component of somebody to be successful. Whether you want to start your own team or you're an agent that feels, hey, that's not for me, because there's a lot involved in running and sitting in my seat or being in my shoes, right? Because now it's about how about the system regarding our marketing and making sure that we're out there in the public eye so that we're not forgotten, right? Yeah. And making sure that we continue to build on our brand, and how do we grow our brand, and everything, right? So again, most people don't treat it as a business. Most realtors don't treat their business as a business. They treat it as a job or a career. Yeah. I look at it as, you're an entrepreneur. You are the brand. How do you continue and build upon growing your brand in many different ways and many different platforms, and not just in social media. I believe that there's a lot of moving components to everything that realtors do out there. Yeah. But it takes years. It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of money. Yeah. Right? It takes a lot of capital. And you need, sometimes you need to grow it to be liquid. And then there's systems in place that when you start generating and building on your capital, how do you disperse of that capital correctly, right? So amazing. Yeah, those are kind of the most important parts that I think we should that I wanted to kind of share with young, inspiring Nicks or
I like that.
right? Or young, inspiring. There's a lot of really wonderful big agents out there worldwide, especially through the Remax channel. The competition is, they make me look this big, right? So, but we're trying to get there, and we're trying to persevere, and we're trying to scale, and we're going to continue trying to grow, and those are our main objectives. And that's what really drives me and creates my passion. And I'm going to try to have fun with it, man. Exactly. Let's just have fun. Exactly.
And your passion shows. I think this was a great episode to educate real estate agents to get those systems in place, get those routines in place in order to be successful. So I'm glad that we had this episode. And thank you to everyone who's been listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. See you on the next one.
Looking to buy or sell? Call a team you can trust. Don't believe me? Our Google reviews say it all. Put us on your lawn, your house will be gone. TheOPteam.com.